What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And if you're into Mustangs, street cars, fast cars, or you're just into watching things progress over time, please smash subscribe down below before we get started on this episode. Alright, so thanks for tuning in once again. We have another Cobra in the stable. We actually have a couple of them right now. But this is the one that we're going to be focusing on in today's video, and it's something kind of special to me because the owner of this Redfire car, which is a beautiful 29,000 mile car, I mean, it's awesome. There's a lot of stuff that we don't like on it, which is why it's here. You might be wondering why it has New York license plates, and that's because Mike, the owner of this car, actually found us on YouTube building other Cobras that he really liked our style and our flair, so he was like, I want to send my car to you guys. How can we work this out? In true street car fashion, I had to make that happen. So now it's here. And it's here for quite a bit of work. Mostly, he has some wiring issues. So the previous owner of the car that owned it before Mike did a lot of kind of like what we're going to call a car show BS. It's got a bunch of car show bullshit on it. Chrome caps on everything. Polish this. Screw trim rings and ugly stuff and like this garbage, and I don't even know what this thing does, and it's got a cutoff switch on the ground cable over here, and it's got an alarm that only works with the key on, with this big huge ugly toggle switch. I don't know if it sounds like a police siren, maybe that was the goal with it, but it's garbage. It's complete trash. The car's like shut off on them a couple times while driving. Obviously we're gonna look at electrical issues on that. The interior lights don't work. Sure, there's an electrical issue, gremlin that's associated with that. So that is where we're gonna start with the car. We're gonna start by cleaning up the engine bay, getting rid of all the car show BS. We've already removed a ton. So it still looks car show flashy, but we've already taken off like the cover for the fuse box, cover for the master cylinder. He had some other chrome stuff over here. We're gonna get rid of the battery tray ugliness. We're gonna get rid of this intake thing, which is total crap. And start there. Then we're going to get the tanks powder coated wrinkle black. They're going to be at the powder coater later today with the power steering reservoir. So all three of these are going to get powder coated wrinkle black because we are thinking in the future that this is going to get a VMP on it. So we wanted to start kind of matching. That's where we're at for now. Wisconsin Race Cars has moved in next door. You guys probably saw on the previous video. We haven't brought you a whole lot on it. He does have some really wicked cars over there he's working on. So don't mind any kind of grinding noise you hear in the future videos, because that's him hustling on his side. And we're obviously gonna do a ton of collaboration stuff, including that Calypso car right there. But we'll bring you guys updates on that in the future. Let's start tearing apart this Cobra. All right, guys, so I'm ready to kind of tear into this. We just found some pretty cool stuff. He's got a cutoff switch on the ground side to try to, I don't know, security measures, I would assume. And we're like, oh, well, how did they set this up? And what did they do here? And they go, and we follow it back over here, and bam! Factory battery terminal, just wrapped in electrical tape and then tucked out of the way, and then extended to there. Now, the good news is, that's pretty easy to reverse. The bad news is what the f were they thinking when they did that? So, anyway, we got the terminals off of it. We're starting to kind of delaminate all this bullshit in here. This was all rusted out. They had a nice anti-theft device hidden underneath the battery. And that's actually what the battery tray was screwed to, which was just sitting in the frame rail, and beat all the paint up and everything. But I wiped it out already. It looks savable. So we got to find a factory Cobra tray, battery tray. And yeah, moving right along. Hey, Matt.
What's up?
I don't know who worked on this car previous, but they should be ashamed. I'm not sure what in the world is going on in this department, but jeez, come on. Blue zip tie though, that's classy. And full disclaimer, close your ears. But if you think that any of what you're about to see is okay, please put the soldering iron, the strippers, the clippers, or whatever the hell that you're about to work on down. Put it down. Light your car on fire, because if it looks like anything like this, or you're thinking that any of this is semi-acceptable, then I don't know what to tell you. You need to start golfing. Putting a car together in this fashion is asinine. We are in the dash of the Cobra. Now, I have not really even got into starting to remove it from the factory. I'm just trying to follow where everything goes, and hopefully you guys can see what's going on in here. So over here we got gauge power wiring that was in an add-a-fuse. This one, however, didn't get an add-a-fuse. This one just got crammed into a fuse, which is good. I like that. I like seeing that. I like seeing lots of electrical tape and 2 different gauge wires. Oh, I'll give them credit. I can't pull it apart, so it might actually be soldered underneath there. Here's some aftermarket something. Oh, I didn't show you guys this one. This is a switch for, I don't even know what yet. With, they tried to solder that, I think. Can you see it? They tried to solder a connection on there. This was actually bolted to the dash right there. Mint. Love it. So that's out. All this is what's next. Making sure that we don't ruin any factory harness that might be in here, like they tapped into that. They just wrap wires around. No solder there. Bunch of fuses. And it goes and ties into all the factory stuff up there. So there's probably about a dozen factory wires that it taps into. I hope that's it. I mean, there's a bunch of mess that's cut into over here too. So we're gonna just start clipping, tracing, clipping, removing, and find out what else they touched and get that rid of. But I will say on the positive side, oh, I already disconnected the battery. It didn't have interior lights and now it does. So that's a positive. We're getting somewhere. So that's what I'm working on now, is getting all this out of here. This is the first main part of this project, is getting rid of anything wiring. Oh, forgot something good. Now everybody wants the JLT high boost intake manifold and all that kind of stuff. I don't understand why you would want to go get any of those things when you could just run down to the Ace Hardware, get yourself a dryer vent, a little bit of tubing, and you got the baddest cold air intake that you could ask for. But for a small charge of $9.99, Streetcar Shenanigans will include the half a dryer vent cover that looks like it was for like a vent register at one point. It's good. It's really good. I'll show you the battery cutoff switch. We're also going to be posting this for sale. This is going to be a hot commodity. Probably going to get hard to get a hold of. We have people lined up. Phones are ringing. But this is the ground cutoff switch that they had, and it comes equipped with white painted house wood screws. Only here. You will not find this offer, so dial now to be entered in to win. All right, killing it. Going back to work. All right, guys, give you the final update on the wiring situation. I mean, this thing was a mess. So far, we're not 100% complete. I want to show you one zip tie moment. Stole that from Roadkill. And this is a temporary battery terminal that allowed me to test everything. I thought it worked out pretty good, not gonna lie. Bam! That is one zip tie holding them close together, and then one holding it on the terminal. There's no battery tray in the car, so this is just set in here. This is obviously the terminal that I found wrapped up and tucked under the core support. So put that back in action. And those are just enough to test the systems to make sure that it cranked and started. Didn't run very well because obviously it doesn't have a mass level sensor on it. But I wanted to make sure that it would crank and start, and it did. So that's good. So let's check out the goods. Now this car had a couple issues. One, it cut out while driving. It was just miscellaneous, just turn off and turn back on. The terminals, well, first it had this battery box on it, and the terminal sat like right above it. So, I mean, wouldn't take much to get that to, this whole thing is hot when it's on there. It's very stupid. It's terrible design, especially on top of a metal battery tray. Don't like that. So I think we resolved that issue by just totally getting rid of that. We're gonna put a factory battery tray back in it. Gotta go to the junkyard, find one that's nice, clean it up, put that in. It's gonna be good to go. Now let's see what we took out. Look at all those goodies. I mean, just some real grade A wiring that was in there here. I mean, these are all really half-ass solder joints. A couple of them don't even have solder, I've noticed. I'm not totally opposed to the add-a-fuse idea, but the rest of this is complete trash. I mean, this is good. House speaker wire, I think that's what they use that for typically. I don't know. I don't see it often since I don't do house speakers. They had this tucked around the shifter, which the T56 is pretty noisy, so they could have been doing this for noise insulation. 0304 Cobra owners, you guys own a glorified Fox body, just get over the fact it makes noise, okay? So we got that out of there. This is the alarm system that they tapped into about 20 wires under the dash, cut some of them, left them hanging, put some resistors on some of them. It was pretty good. Oh, there's some of the resistors right there. That went between like this wire and like 4 others. That was pretty cool. I don't think I've seen that one before. Maybe that's why the airbag light was on. Probably tapped into something to do with that. Yeah, just, I mean, terrible. I think we have everything out now. All the ugly wiring is gone. This is what we have as a result. Big pile of junk, couple gauges that are probably still good. So the car shut off occasionally and the instrument panel didn't work. So they tapped into some of the wires. They also jammed a wire into a fuse like this. Hate that. Hate that, terrible. But it was the illumination one and it messed up the circuit. And it was burnt and I replaced one of the wires. But now we are all back together and all cleaned up. See if I can get some light for you guys. But I do like these without any gauges in them. I think it's just a super clean interior. We'll probably end up doing a boost overlay because that's pretty cool. You know, it goes 0 to 23. All the stuff that was hanging underneath the dash. Is now gone. We can find a factory fuse box cover because that'll now fit. And then all the wires underneath are tucked up and away. I'll throw a couple zip ties on those. They cut all the sheathing off when they installed it, so I'll probably throw a couple zip ties around it just to tighten it all up. And then I took the boost gauge out, but I left the boost line there. I sealed the end of it, so in case a boost gauge does make its way back in here, the line's already there for somebody. So either this owner or a future owner will thank me later. That switch is gone. I'm very happy they didn't drill into the dash at all to put it there, so you can't even tell it was ever there. And most importantly, we now have lights. They dim, they do their job. Beautiful. For the most part, that's it for the wiring side. I don't really see anything else that it worries me. You know, now it's just gonna continue cleaning up. Whoever did that wiring also did other things, so we're gonna continue cleaning that stuff up. So now the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put it on the lift. We have a video on this Cobra. This is a E85 VMP car. It's on like 23, 24 pounds of boost. Made really good power. Bring you guys more on this in the future. It's broken right now. So I'm gonna bring that next video you guys will see will be about this car. We'll take it for a ride. We'll kind of compare it to Charlie's silver VMP car because it's pretty comparable. It's pretty similar setup except this car's on E85 and a little bit more boost. Anyway, back to this one. So we're gonna get this one on the lift after we put that one back together, and we're gonna remove all the tanks, the overflow tanks here. We're gonna clean them up and send them to powder coating. We're gonna get them powder coated like a flat black, similar to what the VMP finish is, because that's what this car is ultimately gonna end up with as well. It's probably a VMP 2.3 with an upper, accessory idler, Meco idlers, Meco lower, and then a fuel system to go along with it. We're thinking that that's the next stage of this project. We're gonna call the owner and confirm with him here in the next couple days. But anyway, that's where this car stands. It's a beautiful Red Fire 03. There's a lot of things the owner wants to address on it. Wants to change the wheels, which I don't blame him. So he wants to change the wheels, wants to put more power in it, wants to put it on a big fuel system for future plans. No E85 in this car, although everything's gonna be PTFE, so if he ever does wanna go E85, it's ready to go. He wants to get rid of a lot of the silver and chrome stuff, which is why we're gonna powder coat all the tanks. We've already taken a lot of ugly stuff out. You know, he had a Moroso cover on everything. This, that, had that big ugly thing. He had a big chrome cover here. That's now in the garbage. Car looks good sitting right there. Shop's got room now. It can sit in the middle like that. Looking sexy. Oh, let me disconnect my battery for the evening. Beautiful.